Santa Clarita contains roughly, you guys ready for this, 77 miles of bicycle routes, many of them around the Santa Clara River. In 2007, the League of American Bicyclists awarded Santa Clarita a bronze designation for a bicycle-friendly community status, and I can see why. It's a great place to train and to race, and you can see why a lot of European teams come out here to camp in Southern California. Also the home of sun-kissed oranges, can you believe it? And the Newhall Land Farming Company. Santa Clarita bound to the north by Castaic, and to the west by Stevenson Ranch, and the famous Six Flags Magic Mountain Park to the south, the Newhall Pass. Further south, the Granada Hills and Silmar. And to the east, the towering San Gabriel Mountains.
30 seconds.
We are just moments away from our men's Pro 1, 2, 3 taking off. Welcome everybody to the Chuck Pontius Go Fast Criterium presented by Incycle Bicycles, and here we go. We are shot out like a Polaris missile. Light the fuse. This crit is lit.
Field has taken to the course here at the Chuck Pontius Memorial Criterium.
Going for 75 minutes, red hot.
Go Fast.
Gonna be electric.
Thank you all our fine sponsors: Incycle, Spoggies, Johnny's Tree Service, the Ice Cream Shop, Bike Legal, and the Hitch Burger Grill.
So we're looking at a 0.7 mile lap. It's roughly shaped as an arrowhead, okay, arrowhead, or an isosceles triangle. Turn number one being kind of the beak of the bird, and that's going to be to the west, and then 400 meters between 1 and 2, and then a short 200-meter sector between 2 and 3, 3 being the final corner here. Once again, 3 corners today. We're used to kind of Gazinta 4s, right? Even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8 on most circuits. Here we're looking at an odd number, and it's a prime number, number 3. And the laps come red, hot, fast. Yeah, 0.7 miles. Imagine the effect coming through those corners. If you capture them and carve correctly, then you are coming into a jet stream, and it feels super fast out there. Wicked fast indeed, presented by Go Fast Incycle. I took a physics course back in the day at UT. Of course, it was Texas, but we learned something about the Venturi effect, where, you know, when you put the thumb on the business end of a garden hose, you get more jet stream. You get an increase in velocity, and that's what you find in these corners. Here, look at this rider right here in the blue kit coming through that corner, lined up, right? So there's a centrifugal force that comes through those corners. And look at them, razor's edge on lap number 1. This is fantastic. A colorific crew right here as they hit the jet stream on blast for 75 minutes. Trust me, this thing is going to go ballistics.
Rider field. There is nowhere to hide for 75 minutes in a 25-rider field. It is one of the hardest races you can do. Definitely would love to see a larger field, somewhere to hide in there. But, you know, it is what it is. You're here to race. You're going to race what you got. 25 riders are going to make a hard effort out there all day long.
So the heat is on. You can start to see some fractures already here on lap number 2. Shot out like a Polaris missile. Riders already on the go. And watch for Jason Paez. He's going to pick his time, and he is going to try a jailbreak. Rex Roberts also looking good with a couple teammates there. Rider wheel number 10 or 12 tucked in there, locked and loaded. So I was doing the math on the lap and speed calculations. So once again, a 0.3 mile course right now. So if you're traveling at a speed of 25 miles an hour, one lap is completed in a minute 33. So at 25:1:33, increasing the speed up to 30 miles an hour, you will see lap times of
That's
a minute
2
17.
and number 10,
And
by
at 35
15.
miles an hour, which trust me, we're going to go in excess of 35 in these sprints. At 35, it's a
Number
107
2,
lap.
Christian
So at
Cabral
25,
out of
133.
Go
At
Fast.
30 miles an hour, 117. At 35 miles an hour, 107. Now, if you dissect the numbers, you look at the delta between 25 and 30, it's a 16-second faster lap. And check this out, people. When you go from 30 to 35, it's not a 16-second advantage. It's only 10 seconds. Because the faster you go, the more difficult it is to make up time and distance at warp speed. So the math is not linear whatsoever. And that's because there's an exponential force that's required to make up time on acceleration. Not to be Oppenheimer here, Oppenhammer. Velocity is simple. Distance divided by time. It's very simple, right? But acceleration, that equals velocity squared. The point is, it's really hard to go fast, because we're talking about accelerations at some point, and we're talking about something called terminal speed. At terminal speed, let's say 43 miles an hour, we saw Justin and Corey Williams going at Manhattan Beach Grand Prix, and Eduardo Cruz as well. Cruz was right there at least 42 miles an hour. That equals 63 feet per second. So imagine that. 2001, 1001, you just traveled 126 feet. Do the math. You've got to be able to still time very quickly. If you're a bike racer and you're looking at half seconds in terms of time, or critical time, then you're way too slow. You just lost 60 feet at top speed. So maybe that's what we need to start expressing some time in feet per second. Right now they're going about 50 feet per second. Imagine that. 2 seconds, 10-story building. Next. So Subaru Montgomery at the front right now, shaking and baking a little bit. And you're going to see Jason Paez. He's already somewhat, he's covering this move, right? He's doing it with diligence. He's got a SoCal Cycling rider in there as well. So about 5 riders right now. Just kind of testing the air. I believe that this is not going to be the winning move, but you never know with Paez. This will be part of the drama. Paez is he's such a wicked rider. He's got a huge diesel engine. We saw him take away and walk away in a stellar field at LAX Circuit this year. Actually, he almost got brought back, and there's Jason right there talking, looking around, trying to make some friends. Man, he looks good. Here's a SoCalCycling.com rider. That looks like that could be Jacob Longo.
Front, followed by 4 more. All thinned out, coming through that final turn. All 25 riders strung out through the start-finish area.
All right, hotting up. It's a brisk rate already. Jason Paez, wheel number 2 in the white kit. I'm looking forward to seeing the Crenshaw kit on one of these local races, right? The royal blue, significant of a Crenshaw High School Cougars, with the Legion spelled L39ION, 39, which is the reference to 39th Street in Crenshaw, South Central. So the team Legion, the dynastic, fantastic Legions of Lions of Los Angeles, really were birthed on 39th Street. So, not to sound over dramatic, but the miracle on 39th Street, if you will, from Crenshaw. Now Jason Paez with the colors, and he is wheel number 3. Ice Speed also in there with SoCalCycling.com. Elicris.com going through the channels right now, checking the different cameras out on course. We've got multiple cameras as they ring the bell here in the background. Cash and merchandise and drama all up on offer. Some guys just give up living, start dying piece by piece, little by little. Some guys come home from work and they wash up and they go racing in the streets. John Garbo racing right now in Santa Clarita. Look at him go. Tonight, the strip's just right. Want to blow them off in my first heat. Because summer is here and the time is right for racing in the streets. Shout out to Pat Caros, making sure I got my caffeine and my electrolytes topped off. I'm good. Again, the breeze is coming through. It's going to be really interesting to see this course, which has got such a dynamic. I keep repeating myself, but it really does feel like a fast course. I've ridden it back in the day. I raced it, and even little skinny climbers felt faster on this course. So it's not just about the guys with the big ballast and quadzillas like this rider with ice speed at the front right now, or King's Fellow. That's actually Joseph Chicoine. He is a brute. But the skinny guys feel fast here as well, and it looks like his teammate is one of those skinny guys, and you can see the contrast in style.
Remember, this is a sprint.
But you really can use that VO2 max, to keep the momentum here. It's something else. It's a beautiful course. It's mystifying how fast it is. Because if you look on paper, you would probably say, well, this is going to be just a sprinter's race, and that's absolutely not the case whatsoever. It's actually more of a breakaway course in part. Parcel in part because the corners do come up rapidly.
Send Julie around with her hat to collect $5.
And what do corners do? They create that elasticity, right? And when it snaps, it snaps. It's not like you can go through a corner 6 wide. That's not the case. There's compression corners here. It just lights it up. The fuse is absolutely lit. Look at this right here. You have one rider who takes that apex at speed, and the fourth rider not so much. Rex Roberts coming back from that move in a spotted bother rider. He's having to get back on terms. But then there is a perfect example on the pictures that we just saw. Those that carry the momentum, even these skinny guys with their getaway sticks, putting it to the screws of Roberts, who's trying to get back, get that O2 back into the lungs, and he's just connecting right now. That stinks. That really hurts. It's those repetitive, counterattacks and attacks that will turn the muscle mass. It's like dropping sugar and salt into hot water. It's dissolution of energy. It really does take the tread off the rubber, these repetitive attacks. If you can get into a flow like a Chicoine right now, it's advantage breakaway. So yeah, an intriguing course hosted by some really cool people at InCycle, and the vendors here. Everybody's been amazing, and the sponsors. We do appreciate all you do. Are you worthy? Indeed you are. So now Rex Roberts alone again. This young man with the mullet hairstyle is a rock star, great guy, Rex Roberts, and he's going to get back into that move. He got second place here last year, so he's got obviously expectations. He's a former state of California Criterium champ. So there's Rex Roberts taking a drink from the bottle, getting back on Joseph Chicoine's wheel, which is smart. And you can see Rex is not trying to work this group. He's just trying to stay in front so he doesn't have that back foot on the proverbial neck. So he's covering this move. He has no intention of over-investing. Why? Pea's not there. And here comes Jason Pea's Legions Alliance, and he's going to connect right now. So I do feel like Jason Pea is going to keep everything on a very short leash today. That's Rex Roberts with Bros Bikes, and he's going to wheel over. So again, already a constant reshuffling of these groups. Impossible to predict the winning move. A move that looks like folly or frivolity later on might be the connecting dot to the winning move. And by the way, also, you can't really look at this race as, well, it's first quarter, it's second quarter, we haven't got to the halftime ceremonies yet. BS. It's game on from first quarter. Why? Because there's also the threat of getting real estate and lapping the field. And then the race, it's 2 races, right? It's 3 races. So this is a course in distance that has the ability to shake out, to where every quarter of the football game, every inning of the baseball game is critical. And of course, Criterium racing doesn't have periods or quarters or innings, right? It's prorated on time. It's either distance or time. Criterium races prorates what we think the average laps are going to be, and then it goes down into lap carts, which is typically 8 laps. And there goes Paez right now on the move. Again, Jason is worried about every little move. He's got a massive weight on his shoulders today, and he's a marked man. We saw him win at LAX alone.
And there's an attack off the front right now. One rider trying to start a move. 5 riders trying to bridge up. The field is all strung out. Little bit of a gap between 8th and 9th place.
Trading body blows. And there's Paez. He's just carving out the corners. He's carving it up like a holiday turkey. Slicing and dicing. And it goes without saying, if you feather your brakes, you are out. I think Corey Williams has a license plate that says no brakes. It's all about keeping those elbows sharp, like Mark Cavendish did. Kind of like, what's the worm, right, guys? Yeah, Dennis Rodman. That's right. He had sharp elbows. And it's about throwing those outriggers. That's really not what's happening right now, but that is key on the corners. And as you get closer and closer to the finish line, those elbows get sharper and sharper, where every critical centimeter is key. And that's also, it's really key sometimes to have a teammate on the wheel, right? I don't know if you talk about modern cycling, but we saw that at Manhattan Beach where Justin was on Corey, slotted in, right? And Tyler Williams is doing the final lead out. And suddenly 2 riders from opposing teams popped out. One popped right, one popped left. I think it was Ice Speed, perhaps. I could be wrong on the left. And on the right, it was definitely Eddie Huntsman with ButcherBox causing chaos with really demonstrative pop. And suddenly Justin and Corey swapped. It wasn't intentional. I looking at the drone coverage by LACrits.com, it just looked like there was confusion because it wasn't like there was one lane to cover, right side, left side. It was both sides, left and right, like a windshield wiper, a double attack that wasn't planned. It happened in reality, and Justin folded over to one side, and Corey didn't slot in. So they traded, and that ended up being to the advantage of the team anyway because Justin got a free line. He got clean air. Whereas Corey got caught just a little bit behind Cruz, Eduardo Cruz, picking up second place at Manhattan Beach for 2 years straight. Mr. Cruz, a fantastic rider with ButcherBox, and he and Huntsman really put off a very good display and certainly had the Legion Lions worried there in the final 300 meters.
I have four more trees.
So that's Jacob Longo with SoCalCycling.com having some really good legs, stretching them out here early on. Longo, rider number 1. I'm not sure how he got that.
2 riders.
That bib number. Last year we had
that's number 25
Austin Carroll win this
1.
race, and Rex Roberts second. Rex Roberts in the field right now.
Let's see here. Number 13
and third place,
number
John
11.
Garbo in the Pro 1, 2, 3 last year at 2022. Chuck Pontius Criterium.
I'm sorry, number 25 is Chris Hildreth with Team 6 Project. Number 1 is Jacob Longo. Those are the 2 riders off the front. Number 13 is Sean Crick, and number 11, Michael Barker, are the 2 riders in no man's land, and 3rd and 4th trying to bridge up to our leaders.
So yes, we have an ID in that 2-man break. That's Chris Hildreth, another beast on the machine. The man with the illustrated legs, beautifully tatted up. Hildreth with Team 6 Project. And yeah, he likes to roll. He and Longo right now definitely putting a stamp here early in the early laps. And in chase right now is Sean Crick and Michael Barker. Barker, another really good rider. Young man, 27 years of age. He's got really good legs, a bit of a diesel and all arounder. Here comes Longo. Now it's his turn. They're doing a wonderful job of organizing.
Working together to try to continue.
And that's Hildreth, the tattooed armed Hildreth, wheel number 2, as they take that corner number 3 right there, red hot.
There we have Chris Hildreth and Jacob Longo off the front, and the gap has gotten bigger. And the two riders
doing the math here, it looks like this break is definitely looking strong right now. Of course, it's only 2. You got Rex Roberts or his teammate at the front trying to drill it back in, and they are absolutely pinning it at the front. And there's Jason Paez taking his time.
That's Hildreth and Longo off
and the cameras flick over to that turn number 2. Okay. Should I turn the volume up, or that has no significance? Okay.
I want it to be more.
Okay. I think closer, maybe. All right, these two riders right now are giving it the go for sure. Longo and Hildreth at the front, stamping the pedals. There's Hildreth doing a little shake and bake, checking the gap. It looks like they have maybe 15 seconds. That's unofficial. The riders definitely working together, putting a stamp on this race. And a lonely gap here as our camera fades, and in doing the monitoring, can't see if Paez is yet jettisoned from that group. Yeah, good heavens, these riders are really well organized. And crit racing is an art form. It's all about that flow, working together to try to get an advantage on the chase.
They need to stay off the front as they come through here for another lap down.
And look at that corner, nothing but daylight at this point in time.
5 minutes remaining. Chris Hildreth and Jacob Longo, they are about to be out of sight, ladies and gentlemen. And once that happens, that's all.
Okay, Hildreth right there at the front, shoulders down, and a lone rider now spraying and splintering off the front. Chaos in the chase right now.
Absolutely no interest in chasing. Absolutely none. There's number 9 off the front.
Can I get a time next lap?
45 25-second gap.
All right, it looks like LACrits.com camera's got a 25-second time gap with these two riders. 25 seconds. You know, that's that magic number. Anything over 20 is real. This is not a simulation. This is the real deal here at Santa Clarita Crit. Two riders stamping it out right now, working together wonderfully. Well organized. 25-second time gap. Jason Paez, head on a swivel.
Keeping them in sight. And then once that happens, they just shut down. You don't see the carrot out there, you're not chasing it.
And this is the Tete de la Course right here, the head of the race. Two riders with that elbow flick. Hildreth, Longo right on command, coming through very smooth.
These two riders are looking really, really smooth as they work together to continue to extend their lead over the Pro 1-2 field. Jacob Longo, Chris Hildreth coming through right now. I still do not see the field. One rider making
all right,
a
now we have a rider now that is severed
right
from
now.
the group. We'll try to get the makeup of that rider. These two riders, Hildreth and Longo, absolutely simpatico, stamping it out. Remember, you can always think about an actual lap here. I mean, you can lap the field. These are only about a minute 15-second time gaps on the lap counts. The speed around about 30 miles an hour is roughly 1 minute 15 seconds.
And Hildreth and Longo coming through right now. Working silky smooth together, taking turns. In time trial mode right now, team time trial mode. They're not on the same team, but they're working together as one unit right now, trying to win this Pro 1-2 race here at the Chuck Pontius Memorial Criterium. And I dare say the gap is growing. Number 9 still out there solo, trying to bridge the gap in third. He's about to be bridged up to by a Turin rider, number 6. That's Matt Milko, followed by 23, Giovanni Romero. And there's the field. The gap now in 2 laps has grown from 25 seconds to a 40-second gap between the leaders and the field.
All right, thank you so much for watching lacrits.com. We are live, and we have 2 riders in the Pro 1-2-3 stamping it out, working very well together. Looks like they may have a
1 minute,
could be a 30-second
laps.
time advantage on the field. Not sure where
They're
Jason
up by
Paez
40
is right now.
on the
You know,
field
he is
right
hunting,
now.
waiting for the
Still a
time,
long
keeping
way
the
to
powder
go for
dry
these 2 riders.
here in Santa Clarita. This is the Go Fast Chuck Pontius Memorial Criterium. We're looking at a 0.7-mile course, and this crit is absolutely lit. 2 riders been very, very simpatico, working together in unison. It's a poetry in motion, these 2 riders. Where is the field? It looks like that time advantage is starting to build.
Pre-lap to the winner
And I
of the
tell you
next
what, this is already critical time
Jersey to the
here
winner of
at
the
Santa
next lap.
Clarita, California, the
That is a
epicenter of bike
pre-lap.
racing in Southern California today. lacrits.com with several cameras, and trust me, the eye in the sky don't lie.
Pre-lap to the winner of the next lap. Essos Jersey.
So we're ringing the bell right now for a preem lap. Merchandise out online, and there's Rex Roberts looking around. This is very, very interesting.
This is a sprint
Nobody
lap.
has really given up the ghost yet.
Preem
Ice
lap
Speed is in
to
a
the
move
winner of the
right
next
now,
lap.
and he is hurting for certain. I think these 3 riders are going to come back to the field. Jason Paez now starting to emerge from the field. He doesn't want to show all his cards, but you know what's coming from Paez. 2 riders up the road right now. Longo
officials that the field
and Hildreth.
bit back 5 seconds on that lap. Let's see if the impetus to win a prize at the end of this lap causes anyone in between the field to close that gap a little bit more between the field and the break. We shall see what happens here.
And look at the background right there. That's the Santa Susana and the San Gabriel Mountains towering over the course. Hildreth right now, a beast on the bike. He's a giant diesel rider, likes to go. These 2 riders very committed. They're making sure they're hydrated, keeping those fluids topped off. It's around about 90 degrees outside on the tarmac. It's probably around about 100 here in the box. Not bad at all. Actually, we have a breeze coming through. The coastal wind starting to build as the energy and drama is starting to build as well, because this is Richter. This is not what we predicted, having 2 riders holding off the field so early like this, and yet not another gander. We have not seen the appearance of the beast that is Jason Paez. There he is right there at the corner, but he is dragging the field. The field is getting angry, filthy, and they are getting thirsty. Will they connect? Those 2 ice speed riders going back into the field, going to be vacuumed up.
Don't give up now. Now's the time to bring that.
And they are absolutely racing the arrowhead very sharply. This 3-corner course, 0.7 miles. Once again, the laps come very fast. And we've seen Jason Paez. He can win with panache and stoic composure. He is an absolute pro, a consummate professional out there. And I keep shouting his name because I know what he can do. And I've got expectations, and so do you all. If you've seen Jason Paez race, and he also has something called patience. He's a very, very heady rider. He doesn't just participate. He takes it to the next tier. He anticipates. Right now, I anticipate that he's going to bolt at some point in time. In other words, use the advantage of these 2 riders and say, go ahead, get you some. Give me a head start, because I want my move to be violent. I want it to be pronounced. I don't want to drag the field up to these 2 riders Talking about Hildreth and Longo. And I guess the gap is starting to tumble just a fraction. We had around about a 35-second time gap, and it's coming down, tumbling a little bit, shrinking like a wet Angora sweater tossed in the dryer for Fitty. Shrinking like a cheap suit. You can see them now. Here comes the riders right now. Paez starting to shake and bake a little bit. A little bit of David and Goliath, two riders taking on the field right now. 22-second time gap right now, so it is definitely shrinking, gradually benefiting not only the chase, but the imminent counterattack. Too much real estate right now to project that they're going to be brought back, but certainly, time does have an influence, and the legs do start to get a little bit shallow. You start to get a dissolution of power. The watts can fade, especially in the intensified heat out here out on course. Not terribly hot. We had a heat wave about a week ago or two. It would have been about a $1.06 out here ambient, which means probably a $1.20 on the asphalt. Today's more in the mid-90s at the high, perhaps 97. Hildreth not showing any pain right now as Longo, his teammate, at least for the last several laps, working together, simpatico, very smooth, kind of stamping it out. There's a bit of a contrasting style between these two riders, talking about Hildreth and Longo. Longo in the bright red kit, representing SoCalCycling.com. Frank Cerati, the director on that team, is on the sidelines right now asking for feeds. It's all about staying hydrated. This is a 75-minute race. So is action on from the gun. They took off like Polaris missiles, and it has been red hot. Yeah, these two riders are putting on basically a ballet at 30 miles an hour, doing the dance at around about 10,000 watts collective throughout the day. It is red hot. They know they've got to establish time. They'd rather see Paez jump across than just be slowly, gradually brought back in. There is so much to play here with tactics. Making the break is just part of the puzzle, part of the Rubik's Cube. If you can get the code to get in that move, man, you're feeling way better about your angles, about your line choice. These riders looking around about 20-second time gap now, and you don't see any impression that they're letting off on the gas. I think it's natural attenuation bringing them back, and also just a bit of antsiness in the chase. All right, these two riders right here, now they're peeling off. It's all about shake and bake right now. If you're a rider like Jason Paez, you're going to have to play a bit of a gambit. You're going to have to let some things go. You can't be responsible for bringing back every move. Otherwise, you will be done and dusted. After all, we are only human. And no doubt about it, for whatever happens next, we know this move has been brazen. Big heart moves by Hildreth and Jacob Longo with SoCalCycling.com. And Chris Hildreth, part of that Team 6 project out of Redlands, California. Team 6 is led by Kyle Cooper, a former state road race champion, and Austin Carroll on this program as well. Austin Carroll, your defending champ here at Santa Clarita. Carroll winning after lapping the field. 8 riders last year lapped the field here. Austin Carroll taking the win. John Garbo Garbo third place here last year. Rex Roberts taking the second here at Santa Clarita in 2022. Roberts right now in the move. He's in that first chase group. He's done a couple of efforts, and now he's trying to bide his time with the thoughts of moving up that podium. And to get on that podium, it's a very, very tall tree to trim. And in order to stay on top of that pyramid, warrior mentality is paramount. Team 6 Project is founded by Jeffrey Bowens out of Redlands, California. Mr. Bowens, his job is to negotiate media contracts between companies like YouTube and Google. I guess there was a fork in the road where Jeffrey Bowens, the director of Team 6 Project, had but $6 left in his wallet, decided, I'm going to roll the dice and take on this entertainment company, and it worked out. He's doing very well, and now he's supporting the passion sport, the passion project that is cycling. Our leader at Team 6 Project, very proud to see his rider right now riding like a rock star, talking about Hildreth on the move with Longo. Just not seeing them relent at all. The stubbornness of these two riders is tremendous to watch. It's splendor to see. But look at this. You can start to see just a little bit of erosion. It's starting to get a little bit grippy on their pedal strokes. Not quite much dance in the pedals that you saw earlier. It's just natural attenuation, lap after lap. They're just drilling it through the corners, crushing the backstretch, ripping it through this corner right here, bursting through every stretch on a 0.7 mile wicked fast course here at Santa Clarita, California. And ladies and gentlemen, we're roughly at halfway right now. We're at 40 minutes doing a 75-minute race. And decision time. Do you let them dangle? Do you do the math? What does the math say? What is the algorithm? A very difficult situation right now for riders, for rogue riders like Jason Paez. He's seen this movie before, though. He's going to bide the time. Almost kind of a possum scenario sometimes to come into play where you think, no, guys, I don't have the legs today. It's going to have to be somebody else, not coming from me, Mr. Paez. In fact, I might just take the day off. There's that gambit that sometimes you have to play. And sometimes in gambling, when you're at the table and you're wondering who's the mark, it's probably you. All right, on the LA Crit Cam timekeeper, it looks like we've got official 27-second time gap, which yo-yoed from, well, it was 35 and went all the way down to 20, and now back up to 27. So it's hovering and then yo-yoing. There's Rex Roberts at the front trying to keep the speed up. So these two riders shadowboxing, if you will, but completely simpatico. They have joined in union, in matrimony, talking about Longo, talking about Hildreth at the front right now. They are all in. The chips are all in there. There's no second guessing the move at this point. 27-second time gap, and once again, you can see Paez there in the white kit, festooned with the black ribbon on his chest, wondering what is the right time to go. He'd rather not have to close a 27-second time gap alone. He's trying to win the race. He's not trying to get in the break. He's going to get a memo from the boys. The Williams brothers are going to be checking in later on how to go down there in Santa Clarita. You know, he wants top step. That's the design, and that's really the legacy of Legions of Los Angeles. They go for the win. And there's also an expression that talent can get you to the top, but only character and integrity can keep you there. Bike racing, 2 parts aspiration, 3 parts perspiration. And experience is the best coach. The more you race, the more you see these scenarios. In my humble opinion, there's still arguably 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 riders who can win this bicycle race. Even though these 2 riders are looking very good right now, it takes stones to pull it off. Who's going to win? Santa Clarita. Last year, we saw Austin Carroll take it after lapping the field with 7 other riders. Austin Carroll first, Rex Roberts second a year ago today. Rex Roberts right here on camera. He's in the chase. Chase number 1 coming through. In third place, John Garbo last year beating out Carmick McGogo, a former, well, he was second place champion of Ireland on the road in Pro Elite. Carmick McGogo, the guy can roll. Garbo, very proud of that result last year, no doubt about it. Third place against these guys, very impressive. Time gap now growing. It's 30 seconds now. That's Matt Mickle with Terran Elite alone at turn number 3, trying to jettison from the pack. And I love that sound. You can hear the carbon fibers swooshing right through the atmosphere on these corners. It's a wee bit like a NASCAR. You can hear the turbos whistling as they come whiffing by. That's Rex Roberts, rider number 4 in that chase. He is covering every move. He's having an inspired ride today. Who's going to emerge? Man, we've got riders all over the road here at Santa Clarita. It is game on. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We are seeing the chase group starting to erode on that time gap. We've got Longo with SoCalCycling.com. We've got Chris Hildreth, Team 6 Project. They have been down there, up there all day long, jettisoned from the field early on, punching tickets. But now we're starting to see a bit of erosion. We're seeing a little bit of shrinkage in that time gap. I don't know if it's George Costanza shrinkage in this hot tub, but we're seeing a subtle shrinkage. And these riders have been so inspired, talking about Hildreth and Longo, stubborn athletes with big, giant engines, really ready to rock the apple cart. If they can take on a 1-2 today, they would be extremely stoked. And it's pretty beautiful right now because they're not lapping the field. It's kind of good and bad, right? It's a long enough gap where the chase doesn't feel like it's a readily attainable. Certainly, they'd love to lap the field. But it's also keeping guys like Paez, with his antenna way out. There's stress in the field. You can feel the drama as it unfolds. There is no script as riders are just coming off. There is attrition on every single lap here at Santa Clarita, California. Welcome, everybody. This is the Chuck Pontius Memorial Criterium presented by Go Fast. So these 7 riders right here are trying to reintegrate, to absorb these 2 riders up the road. If 7 plus 2 becomes 9, we've got a completely different movie. We've read this book before. We've seen the movie, but we don't know how it's going to unfold. 2 riders now being chased by 7 inside of what looks like to be roughly 29 minutes to go. And a little bit of disorganization on the chase here. They've really got to get together. It's going to be a monumental effort to bring these 2 riders back because they're all in right now. There's a favorite piece of cinema I have. You guys saw the movie Ford v. Ferrari, right? Christian Bale, Matt Damon. Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, he played Carroll Shelby's character. And there's a race sequence. It's really riveting. There's one point where your heart rate is maximum, right? You're in the vicinity of 7,000 RPMs, and everything just sort of fades. Your body flooded with fatigue, and you're left with one question: who are you, and how far can you push? Okay, it's a 2-part question. You get it, right? Many quit because they don't have the nerve. Ladies and gentlemen, the sport of bicycle racing is not for the nervous. These cats have nerves of steel. Roll credits. Right now, Longo is starring along with Hildreth as they punch clocks. Christian Bale and Matt Damon at the front doing the do-si-do. Let's monitor that gap, though. It is definitely coming back. These 7 riders, not incredibly organized, not really orchestrated, but it does appear that the catch is imminent. And say hello to the San Gabriel Mountains, shining upon us all, created by the Garlock Fault Zone, which runs east-west, and it ripped these mountains in half, sending the San Jacinto Mountain back to Palm Springs. 100 miles of fault zone connecting San Jacinto all the way out to Catalina Island. Feeling some seismic activity in those quads right there. Chris Hildreth stamping it out. Very expressive of power and watts. Knock, knock, who's there? Emerson. Emerson who? Emerson, mighty large watts right there coming from Hildreth and Longo. But it does look like they're going to be brought back. This is high drama here at Santa Clarita, California. Thank you for watching, everybody, on lacrits.com. Every tight corner, every tight squeeze, every blazing hot finish brought to you in Technicolor by lacrits.com. And shout out to Ray Martinez and his lovely wife, Marie, having a beautiful addition. I believe, what, a 6-month, 8-month-year-old child, a Bambino young man. His name is Ray Martinez. I like to give him a nickname. Let's go with Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray Martinez. This one's for you, baby. These bike racers, they kind of live a monastic lifestyle, right? And they hit the road like traveling gypsies. And my thing is with the cyclists and those in music and sport, it is the remedy of what we need in the world. And cyclists, musicians, artists, they travel not to escape the world, but for the world not to escape them. And the arrowhead is starting to get somewhat blunted at the business end of this course. I call it an arrowhead-shaped course, and we're seeing a little bit of blunting of the tip with 2 riders. It looks like now they're having the conversation, talking about Hildreth and Longo. Longo in the red kit. There he is right there, SoCalCycling.com. A beautiful kit since 1994. Frank Cerati put this team together, a beautiful development program. And they have always been a fixture in bicycle racing in Southern California and beyond, recruiting riders from all around the world. And SoCalCycling.com representing in that move with Longo, joined by Chris Hildreth. the tattooed illustrated man racing for Team 6 Project. And you wonder if these two riders are starting to say, hey, man, what do you think? Should we kind of let them come back and grab? They want to weld, to stitch, to get back into the move. Otherwise, they will be very vulnerable to a counterattack. It's going to be vicious. Upon capture, in my estimation, it's going to be a wicked counterattack. But, you know, there's something about the stubborn, brazen moves where you just don't give up. We've looked at this yo-yo. We've seen it stretch out. We've seen it, well, it looks like it's over. It's shrunk like a cheap suit. And then it stretches out, the elasticity. That is the beautiful thing in bike racing. This doesn't happen in a boat race. Once you are capturing or closing, it just happens. It's inevitable. The capture is inevitable. And here we have these two riders. The brotherhood is right there. They share a bottle. They're dousing, and they're pulling up the sails. Childreth and Longo pulling up the sails, ready for the next round as they flick the bottle. And Longo and Hildreth are going to say, all right, we've had a really good college effort. Let's go ahead and let the chase come in. We're still in the break. It's going to be a good move right here. I think this is a good decision. Two riders working it out. They try to break the Rubik's Cube. They figured it out. Now they're just going to relax. They're going to play a little bit of piano and let this chase right here come up and gobble. Puts them back into the race. And a beautiful close-up right there. Good to see. You can almost see the chain ring. You can see if the Velcro is stretched, right? You can see the salt incrustation off the Lycra right there. Thank you, LACrit.com, setting a new standard in bicycle racing coverage here in Southern California. Wow. Okay, so let's recheck ourselves. This is the Pro 123. That's cool that Moto is allowing a feed. That's a neutral feed. They earned it. But we're starting to see the chronicles of this thing being brought back. There was even a conversation, but now, you know, it looks like perhaps they still are floating off the front. So in the chase, we talked about Rex Roberts, second place here last year. He's in that first chase group, number one. Giovanna Romero also in chase number one, as is Joe Chicoine. And Michael Barker also in that chase. And, of course, Jason Paez. So these six riders trying to capture Longo and Hildreth. Longo and Hildreth still out there stamping the pedals. Paez starting to get a little bit closer in this group. Not yet on lap cards. Romero, Chacoin, Timmerman, Rex Roberts, Mike Barker, and Jason Paez. Those are the riders coming through that corner right there. I've got to believe that Paez is waiting. He's chomping at the bit. doing the math. He doesn't want to come across too late, and he's looking for that Goldilocks moment. He doesn't want to come over too soon as well. If I'm Rex Roberts, I want to know where Paez is for every pedal stroke. If Jason Paez sneezes, I should have a tissue. If he clicks over, I click over. It is decision time. All moves on a very short leash, but you also don't want to show your cards. You don't want to be too negativo because that can kill the impetus. You kind of would rather have your enemy in ice shot. Boy, this is really getting integral right now. In Longo and Hildreth, back in action. There was a moment there where we thought maybe they were going to cool off and bring it back, allow the chase to absorb, and now that has changed entirely. That scenario is flushed down the toilet because here comes the gap again, and here comes Jason Paez on the move. Paez on the move. Everybody glued to him, though, so he does what? He shuts it down. This is extremely tactical. Cat and mouse at 30 miles an hour. I'll tell you what, resilience is required to endure this race. It has been red hot with 20 minutes to go. We're not yet on the lap cards. 20 minutes to go. Who will survive the slings and arrows here at Santa Clarita, California, brought to you by Go Fast in Cycles. And that's Longo, wheel number 2. Hildreth, wheel number 1. And your chase. Rider number 19 is Jacob Timmerman with Terran Elite. And that rider number 14, I believe, is Sean McElroy. I'm going to double check that number. We have, I'm not sure if I got 14 here, but if that's the pride of Palmdale, Sean McElroy, watch out, another big-time player. These guys are turning like 133 lap times, which is 25 miles an hour average. And if they're going 30 miles an hour, they're going to shave that down to a minute 17 on a 0.7 mile lap. 35 miles an hour, 107. Wow. I mean, these velocities are so awesome because they're coming through the corners, hitting the jet stream. And we talked about the Venturi effect. When you put your thumb over the business end of a hose, you get a jet stream. Increased velocity as the molecules start to pounce and line up. There's no flotsam. There's no jetsam. There's no turbulence when you have a well-organized, well-oiled machine working together, as we see on picture right now on lacrits.com. These riders scratching and clawing, trying to get across to the stubborn riders with 9 laps to go. And beautiful pictures there on the tree-lined streets of Santa Clarita. A marvelous day, majestic, momentous day, and a rousing race. It's been strikingly amazing. The electricity is awesome. Extraordinary efforts all day long. These guys are warriors. And to get on the top step, to get on the podium, warrior mentality is paramount as these two riders come across the line once again on the final stretch. As they're being hunted down, that chase group is looking thirsty. That chase group is looking angry and hungry inside of 9 to go. There's Hildreth at the front right now. Jacob Longo, rider number 2 in the SoCalCycling.com kit. Fire red, taking his move. Look at no hesitation in this pool. Longo looking very strong. A real contrast in styles between the two riders. Longo more of a climber and ticking away. And here comes the chase right now. The catch is imminent. And now Hildreth looking at Longo. Longo looking at Hildreth. And here comes iSpeed.com at the front, drilling at the Paez, wheel number 2. When 2 becomes 9. We've got perhaps 8. We may have lost through attrition what could be 8 riders now. So this is your winning move. This is the tête de la course, the head of the race right now. The bicycle race now is completely changed in composition. We had 2 riders hanging out forever out there stamping the pedals. Now we have a breakaway of what looks like 8 riders inside with 8 laps to go on the final stretch here. 8 laps to go on the line. Who's it going to be today at Santa Clarita, California? Reset, reboot, relaunch. Jason Paez throwing water on the neck, trying to get that thermal temperature kind of radiated down to a modulated level as these riders are looking at each other. This could be an opportunity to go. But no, they're checking themselves perhaps judicially with the heat now building up around about 97 degrees. And here it looks like Joseph Jacoin is going to make a little try on the outside. He's going to do a little do-si-do and see who wants to get it. Ice speed, nailing it back. Paez a little bit to the front there, not where he wants to be. And on his wheel, looks like Longo. Jason Paez is going to have a big, big marker on his back. The marked man, Paez, with Legions of Los Angeles. Definitely Ocho right here. 8 riders in the break. And you can see them kind of backing off on the pedals a little bit. Yeah, this promises to be a hotly contested battle. 8 riders now, and all on board, all deck. Like they're looking at their instrumentation. Paez swings off to the left, and that opens up the move for ice speed. Their turn. Now you're going to see some art of non-cooperation there at the back as it starts to look a little bit ragged, about to get grippy inside of 8 laps to go here at Santa Clarita, California. Thank you for watching. LACrits.com. So a single rider just kind of rolling off the front. Camouflage move. Could be a kind of a dummy attack if he opens it up. Yeah, beautiful pictures right there, brought to you by LACrits.com and Ray Mars. The director and producer extraordinaire, Ray Mars, on it. He's got the eye in the sky, which does not lie. And this rider on the gutter, you got to watch out for those camouflage moves. They sometimes don't represent. There's no billboard. One rider up the road, but you can tell every little effort right now is tabulating exponentially. A very, very difficult time of the bike race right now. Do you go early like these riders? Will it pay off? The story is untold. We go from the first chapter to the last chapter, not in reverse, friends. You don't know the winning move until they cross the line, which is dotted. With 7 laps to go, we are in the nitty-gritty. This is where the stick gets wicky, ladies and gentlemen. The drama is awesome. This is electric. It's been rousing. 2 riders now pinching off the front. Jacob Timmerman, he's one of those riders with Terran Elite. With 6 laps to go. Now we have another 2 riders up the road, not named Jason Paez. Man, you have got to be tougher than the rind on a butternut squash to survive this break. I mean, it's been an absolute drill fest. The pain, the fatigue that is flooding your body right now on these riders, it's been hectic. It's gone from the gun. They took off like Polaris missiles, and it's been nothing but hot action, full stick the entire race. And these riders now starting to get absorbed, and you can start to see Hildreth now trying to get information. Now he's up rider number 5. And a little bit of chaos, and Paez now making a move at the front. And once again, a giant bullseye in the back of Paez. It's almost like ABP, anybody but Paez, or ABL, anybody but Legion, as Paez now just says, all right, guys, I'm done. What are you going to do? There's so much at play right here with 6 laps to go here. And our pro men, 1, 2, 3, Santa Clarita, California, you found the right spot. It is action out on the road. Rex Roberts right there in that white and pink and blue striped kit. He is so hungry for a win here. Second place last year. Rex Roberts definitely licking his chops. So just plowing ahead. This group is just, they are on fumes right now. Absolutely on vapor. To draw a comparison in boxing, everybody's got a plan until you're punched in the neck. You're on the mat at this point. Look at these riders. Legs are wobbling, breathing through a cocktail straw. I mean, really, good heavens, what do you do in this situation? All riders are a rogue. There's no twosies, right? Nobody has a teammate. There is no numbers. It's mano y mano times 8. Every move could be decisive. You open up a gap intentionally, and then you regret it. You're having a conversation inside your head, between the ears, constantly. You're trying to just calm the voice and find poise under noise. We're at 5 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. 5 to go on a 0.7. Laser focus and concentration required here, and the meek may not apply. With 5 to go, looks like Jason Paez at the move right now. Paez, he's going to try to test the field. He's got the legs. It looks like another dummy attack. He's looking around. He says, hey, man, any jackass can kick a barn door down. It takes a carpenter to build one, like Robin Carpenter back east. And it takes a geotechnical engineer to make sure you're getting the proper compaction and foundation and moisture content. It's all about content right here in Santa Clarita, California today, ladies and gentlemen, as the riders are all over the road. Who's it going to be today? This is a cage match with 8 in the octagon. And it looks like 3 laps to go when they come through. A lot of looking at each other, grabbing the bottle, playing the possum. Hey, man, I'm done, man. I just want to come home and, crack open a worthy beer, an IPA, and settle down to some tortilla chips, man. I'm kind of done. You guys do your thing. Yeah, I'm calling BS right now. All these riders are looking at a potential win, and they want to get the Palmaris. They want to say, hey, Mom, hey, wife, I did it today in Santa Clarita, California, bringing home the bacon. Who has the stones to get the job done, to sign on the line which is dotted, as Hildreth now through the front having a conversation with Jason Paez. One of those little moments of levity, and I am calling bullshit. These riders all want this win. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, it is game on here in Southern California. The roads are hot, and the crit is lit. But still, again, it's about patience, about hold steady. Holster your weapons. It's a very much a mental game. No glory pools here. Hold steady. Then, boom, show your opponent something when it counts. And here we go again. Look at this. This is a bit of the cat and mouse. Now, a lot of riders now are checking out because they want to watch the show out on the road. Who's it going to be? Barker's in this move. Rex Roberts has been very active. We also have Jacob Timmerman. We have Nicholas Trejo, Joseph Chicoine, and Giovanni Romero. Yeah, now they're coming through very slowly right now if all things are in comparison. It's not about lap time anymore. Throw that all out. We are inside of laps. This is extremely exciting. We are privileged and abundantly stoked to see this scenario. It's not like one rider is holding up the group. Every little move like this could be the end, And the end is not your friend if you don't make that split. This thing is going to split. It's not coming down to 200 meters. It will not boil down. If it does, Rex Roberts has got my vote. I'm waging all my crit coin in the center of the table if it comes down to 8-up sprint with Rex Roberts. Although Hildreth has a good pop too. He's been dilapidated by those laps as it looks like an ice-speed rider just kind of trying to donkey mule on the inside, kind of roll away. And this is going to solicit a reaction from Jason Paez. Paez being covered by Team 6 Childreth. Christopher Childreth doing a very handsome job of covering that move. I'm telling you, it could come like that. It could be just kind of a random little sleepy soporific move that looks like not much until it's done and dusted as we come down to the final laps. It is red hot in Santa Clarita, California. Coming through, it'll be what's known as a penultimate lap. 2 laps to go when they come through on cards. And again, Paez, I got to wonder if he's got a lot of stuff there still left. It's residual watts, but it is watts just the same on reserve. You've got to be able to monitor your body and know where you stand with every watt. And we've got a rider right now. Looks like he's just going to kind of roll off the front. And that's brought back, welded by Jason Paez here in Santa Clarita, California. The Lions are rattling the cages right now. This is mission control with 8 rogue riders not having the benefit of teammates. All of them knackered but willing to go the distance and trying to pick the right time. Because if you fail to prepare, prepare to fail. And certainly all these riders have stayed vigilant. If you think about the way they brought it back, it was gradual. They only had attrition of 1 rider popping off, ride, died, and laid to the side. So we have 8 riders now, instead of 9, but the attrition has been under control, which tells me that these riders are highly experienced, very savvy riders that can read a race like a book. And that's why these gaps aren't that critical right now, because they're not going at top speed. Hildreth now is going to fold over at wheel number 4. Here comes Jason Paez on a big attack. This could be the one. Paez is on the move on the left side of the road, and Hildreth looks like he's going to try to shut it down. This is a huge moment in the bike race as Paez makes this corner. It does not look like he's getting any daylight, though. Paez shut down once again. He's rolling the dice, snake eyes right now. There's a bump. There is a door open right now. There is a crease, and if you can find it, if you've got the legs, you squeeze right now. Rex Roberts now, he's going to make a move with 1 lap to go. Rex Roberts a little bit out of character right here with Roberts now. A bit of panic with 1 lap to go here. Clarita, Santa Clarita, we welcome you all on what is the final lap. Paez looks popped. Paez could be done. Rex Roberts on the move. Sexy Rexy, can he hold off the angry peloton? There goes Rex Roberts on turn number 1. He's got a bit of gap right there. Can he make the Newhall pass as Roberts is on the fly? He's on the move. He held back. He had something in the tool shed. Roberts still with a gap. I want to say dancing on the pedals, but he is trying to tame a Bronco right now. Rex Roberts still with the gap. It is unbelievable. Bonkers out on C. Paez done. Roberts now with a sizable gap. If he can hang on, he will be your champion today at the Santa Clarita Criterium. Brought to you by Go Fast. Oh my goodness. Rex Roberts all week long he's been talking about this race. He left the East Coast. He wanted to come back and return. He wanted this win. And there goes Rex. Rex Robertson now dancing. He's got all elbows out. He is going to be your champion today. Rex Roberts strikes gold. Congratulations. The man has done it. Rex Roberts comes back 2nd place last year. This year takes the top step. And in order to take the top step, warrior mentality is paramount. Rex Roberts making Ride Bikes Racing very proud indeed. Congratulations. What a fantastic race and perfectly timed. It ended up being kind of a flyer move, right? It was a Corinne Lebecki Rivera move. He did not wait for 300 meters. He did not look around. He said, you know what? I've got one move right here. It's been a hot day. It's been electric. It's been rousing. It's been striking. I'm going to strike while the metal is hot. And it was molten hot. Somehow he knew Paez was done. And what a move, a demonstrative move. And it was a calculated move by Rex Roberts and a very, very dramatic win. And so emotional for Rex Roberts to pull that off in that fashion. I am speechless. That was an amazing job. Rex Roberts, congratulations.